What does it mean to act your age when you're pushing 60 years old? My name is Amy Palmer. I am your Gen X Big Sister, and I do not know the answer to that question. I'm not sure any of us do, but there's something that I want to talk about in terms of acting your age. I have felt that I often do not act my age. I act younger than my age, and I have embarrassment and some shame around it. Let me explain. I I like pop culture. I like reality TV. I like watching TikToks. I I like to sort of keep up with what the young people are talking about. I'm not completely well versed in their music and everything, but I definitely have somewhat somewhat aware of everything that's going on in the younger portions of our culture, and I enjoy a lot of it. The podcasts I listen to, I tend to listen to podcasts of younger people more so than podcasts of people my own age. YouTube videos, I tend to watch YouTube videos made by younger people more than my own age. Although I'm starting to change that as I subscribe to more and more Gen X women. But I tend to be drawn towards younger people. And I've always been into pop culture. When I graduated college, I went to school for acting and moved to New York City to pursue an acting career with a couple of my college friends. And I even felt like my tastes and preferences for the arts was younger, was not as elevated or classy. Like I wanted to be an MTV VJ. I wanted to be, I wanted to create my own reality TV series. Like I wasn't aspiring for great film or great, like I had different goals and dreams that felt young. And I still, when I get together with my girlfriends, our girls' trips are very youthful. We get crazy. We put on costumes. We go to parties. The extent to which we party has changed over the years. I'm definitely not as much of a late night person anymore. I'm not as much of a party person anymore. But when I'm then with other groups of women in my age group, their priorities and how they live their life is very different. And from my perspective, it feels like more mature, more age appropriate with the types of activities that they're involved in, etc. I wonder if part of it is a life path because I never married, because I don't have children, especially because I don't have children. I don't have children who then grew into young adults coming up behind me, getting older and older, forcing me to be older and to maybe act older. My younger brothers, two of the three are dads, and they are often talking about how old we are. And I'm the oldest of them. And I just don't feel that way. They're always like making jokes about how, I'm practically elderly and all this kind of stuff. And it just doesn't feel that way. And I'm wondering if it's because I don't have kids that I'm able to sort of surround myself with a more youthful energy. And maybe it's because I haven't necessarily had the heaviness of what can be some of the heaviness of some of the responsibility of parenthood. Maybe that makes us a little more serious. That could be what's coming to mind is a few years ago when I was living in Laguna Beach, I had a friend visit. She was a friend from college that I had lost touch with, other than being aware of each other online. We had virtually like lost touch. I had been a bridesmaid in her wedding, and she had a pretty long marriage. She had 3 children, and um, and then ended up getting divorced. And all of this had happened over, decades of time. She came to visit, and I remembered struggling with reconciling the memory of the young girl that I knew in college with the woman that I was sitting across from now. Because the biggest difference, it was not, she looks amazing. She looks absolutely amazing, but it was a spirit and an energy that is gone. Or I shouldn't say is gone. That's judgmental. I don't know. Because I was only there with her for a short period of time. She appeared less bright, less happy, yeah, just less light and bright, as opposed to, and I wonder if that's just life in general, or is it the life path that she had? Is it the fact that, she had a marriage under her belt, and she's a mother of now adult children? She's got bigger things on her mind, important things on her mind. And is that why I view her as being like older, wiser, more evolved, more grown up? I don't know. I don't know. I remember I bought my first home in my early 30s, and that seemed like a big deal because there's a part of me that felt like I wouldn't truly be an adult, and I wouldn't truly become an adult until I had a partner and a family and a home. And by buying a home on my own in my early 30s, I was kind of like jumping ahead a little bit, even though timeline wise I was behind. So I think that there's like a lot of mixed up feelings in that. Do you think it has anything to, like, do you think one thing has anything to do with the other? Is it just like an energy or a spirit that we already have? I know that I also have a lot of friends my age and older who are moms who have exuberant, young energy, a joie de vivre, like just that enjoy new things and new adventure. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So I've just talked myself in circles around that. It's got nothing to do with whether you were a mom or partner or whatever. There's something else there. And is it something that you can decide to have? I don't fully have it, but I'm not fully missing it either. I don't fully have it because among my friends who are like that, I am sort of like the steady one, the serious one. I tend to, you can even tell on this channel, you would think that, like, because the things I talk about are like serious philosophical, sociological, like, topics, when in reality there's a lot of frivolous topics that I love to talk about. I used to love to chat about what's happening on The Bachelor or what's happening on Paradise, and Bachelor in Paradise and all that kind of stuff. There's definitely a frivolous side of me, but I'm definitely more steady and serious than some of my other friends that are more exuberant. So what do you think it means to act your age? And if you want to have more of that exuberance and more of that young energy and more of that joy for life, does it start with just a decision? Can you just make a decision that you want to live a little bit more that way? Maybe. The fact that fun is one of my life pillars and always has been. Even when I was much younger, and when I was in therapy and I was being asked for, like, what are my principles and what are my guiding principles and things like that, fun and joy has always been in there. It's always been something that's been important to me and always been something that I've been actively seeking. So let's figure this out together. If you've got that exuberance, you've got that joie de vivre, tell me about it. I'd love to catch some of it too, catch more of it. And if you don't have it and you want some of it, I think the first step is deciding to do it, and then figuring out what would be some fun, ways to live that out. And then we can have an offline chat about reality TV and, who's dating who and all that kind of celebrity gossip stuff. My name is Amy Palmer. I am your Gen X Big Sister, signing out.